Hey YouTube, today we'll be doing kind of an interview style video with Corey, just about like topics in AQW and what the future might look like and just other questions.
Yeah, I'm here. This is Corey.
Alright, let's just get into the questions.
What was the best major change in AQW ever? So I think it's actually a really easy answer to that, but you can go first on that one.
Okay, I think I'm probably thinking of the same thing as you, and that is introducing Spider133 to the dev team. Is that what you were thinking too?
Yeah, for sure. I think
Yeah.
that's what anyone that knows anything about AQ Worlds would answer to that question.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
what if we exclude that?
Okay, you know what? That actually makes it a lot harder. By the way, just for anyone who wasn't aware of who Spider is or what we're talking about, in about I think it was 2020, before
Around there,
then, everyone would use this launcher called AQ Lite, created by a guy called Spider, and then at some point, AE decided to invite him to the team because if you can't beat him, might as well join him. And so that is why, if you look at the settings in AQW now, there's so many cool options, and why the drop UI is different, why everything is different. So yeah.
Pre-2020, the advanced settings tab didn't exist. So everything that's in the advanced settings tab was not in the game, and a bunch of other stuff, like a massive amount of UI elements and a lot of the things that, all of that, the sprinting stuff, all of that was all Spider.
100%, yeah.
Being able to make sets. Crazy. Okay, what if you exclude that though? Because they didn't really update the game for like the 10 years before that, did they? Was there anything that they added before that that was like a good change?
Honestly, I don't think they actually updated the game massively at any point. The only thing you could say is like a specific release or something, which might have been cool. Like, I really liked the Throne of Darkness saga.
Yeah, that was good. I'm trying to think of like a feature or something that they added. Oh, when they first added damage boost to the game. Because that was like the first time that stats actually like started to increase, even if it was only like 15% at the time or something like that.
I think let's put the date on that. I think it was like 20. I'll say the first like
15.
famous one was like 15. It was a Burning Blade, you know?
Yeah,
it was like Celestial Arena, right?
Yeah.
So like around 2016-ish, yeah.
I think it might have been early. I think it was 15, 16, yeah.
Yeah, I think there were some earlier damage boosting weapons, but they were way more niche and they were like really small, or they were just... I think NSOD always had a boost on, and so did Blinding Light of Destiny, but they were like the only two ones.
No, they both got boosts after, and neither of those came out with boosts.
Wait, did Blood not come out with boost?
No, it had a clickable
enemy. Damn, that's actually new.
Battle on. Yeah.
Wait, I swear
I'm almost certain about that.
Wait, I swear NSOD had human only boost, and then they changed it to everything boost.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, but I don't think...
actually,
no, Blinding Light I had Undead on it, but I think it was a lot less. Yeah, I might be wrong about that. Okay, yeah, I think it had Undead, but it was less. I think they buffed it to 75. It used to be like 50 or lower. Yeah, never mind, I might be wrong about that. I'm a little tired. Anyway.
No, I think you're right. It definitely did not used to be 75%. That's massive. It used to be like 50, I think.
That's what that question... I mean, it's pretty easy answer. Okay, you go with the next one.
What games did you play when you first started AQW? And tell me whenever you did start it. And what do you play now?
Okay, I'll answer this one first. So when I started AQ Worlds was like 08 or 09. I've said this like a million times. It was like Christmas break. I was on the PC, like the family shared computer. It was definitely winter, Christmas time. Like Frostval was the most recent thing. Battle was all like snow covered. So that was when I started. So it was like 09. Games I was playing it then, I think those Wii just came out in 2009, no? So it would have been like Mario Kart Wii. I think the only console I had, like the only current console, I didn't have a PS3 or 360 yet. Back then, it was only the Wii. So whatever was on the Wii was what I was playing. So like Animal Crossing, City Folk.
Was there any other like
Mario
RPG
Kart
games you played on a computer at all, like Wizard 101 or something?
Yeah, I played basically everything that was free to play, which wasn't a lot back then. I remember free to play games used to be garbage compared to how they used to be. Like every free to play game was basically like you could play it free for like 15 minutes, then you had to start paying for a membership or you had to buy the game or blah blah blah. Like no free to play games used to actually be decent back then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started playing, I think it was like 2012, and the games I was playing back then was like Wizard 101. I was just playing like Flash games and shit. And like I had a console and I'd only play like FIFA, which for like Americans out there is just like the football or soccer game. So I'd play like FIFA and mainly Flash games on my, like the family computer, and that was it.
The only FIFA game I've ever played is the one on the Super Nintendo. That's the only FIFA game
I didn't
I've
even know it
ever
existed on the Nintendo. Like, holy, how does that work?
They've been making those for a while. People like soccer.
Fair enough. And what do you play now? In fact, the reason I asked this question is it's just crazy that you were playing like Wii games and I was playing like Wizard 101 and we were playing AQW. And today, the only game that's like survived since let's say 2008 or 2012 in our game playing list is still AQW. Like now, for example, I play Valorant mostly. I play some like single player games like Elden Ring, but I still play AQW.
Yeah, I play a lot of stuff, but I mostly like first person RPGs like Cyberpunk, Fallout, stuff like that, or like if I'm playing online stuff like COD or Overwatch or just whatever like new competitive FPS is out. Tarkov, I played way too much of that.
I mean, like, yeah, the main reason I just asked that is what is it about AQW that's like, even after like, what, 15 years, keeps you playing, that pretty much none of those other games kept you playing from 15 years ago?
There's a lot of games that have come out in the past like 15 years. If they were still updating, I'd probably still be playing them, to be honest. Like, if I'll say this, and people might not believe me, but I go back and play it every once in a while, even though it's like absolutely terrible for like community wise, like no one's playing it. But Black Ops 2 came out in 2012. If that, I believe strongly that if they kept updating that and never released another Call of Duty game, Black Ops 2 would be just as popular as something like Counter Strike today. If they're playing it competitively and updating it with like the new content that games get these days, I think that game would still be very popular.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I actually kind of agree with that. And I think the only reason that didn't happen is because like Black Ops 2 was like a console game and like their sales and their money was made through, people just buying their discs. Whereas with CSGO, no one bought the disc. It was just like you download online and they made money through skins. So if the monetization system of Black Ops was the same as CS, I think you'd be completely right.
You used to have to buy CSGO, and it didn't have crates when it released.
Wait, did it not?
Nope.
Oh, damn. Never mind. Well, good job to them for changing their whole system and staying alive for this long.
Yeah, Call of Duty could have done the same, but they dropped the ball. Activision loves to drop the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's on them.
It definitely is. All right. Okay, I don't even know if I answered the question correctly. I just got on the Black Ops. Anyway, thoughts on Endgame farms and the state of AQW farming. Oh my god, I love AQW farming.
I mean, this is mainly like referring to like stuff like either Sword or like even VHL, which is just barely an endgame farm nowadays. And
Did you see my NSOD video?
Which one?
How I got the legitimate. I have the badge for it for farming it, and I never farmed it.
Dude, I remember seeing that. That was ages ago, though. How did you get it?
They had a thing where you could like downgrade. They took it out of the game, I think. You could downgrade a dual wield into a single, and then if you have the single NSOD, of course, it's now the farmed version of it because you downgrade the dual wield that you can't get anymore because you used to be able to get the dual wield for NSOD. I'm not going to explain this very well because I don't. Okay, so there was a point in time where you could get dual wield NSOD with the item and donated version of the NSOD. You can't do that now because the item and donated NSOD is different from the farmed one, right?
Yeah.
So you can no longer get the dual one unless you farm it. But when it first came out, you could get the dual one without having the farmed one because there is no item and donate version. Hopefully I'm explaining this right. All right. So I have that from back in the day.
Okay.
You can't get anymore.
No,
so
okay.
recently,
I know what you mean.
Recently, they added the ability to they have the ability to downgrade. I don't know why they even put this in the game because you can just buy back shop the single one. So why is this even a thing? But they added the ability for no reason, seemingly, to downgrade your dual wield into a single one. So I took the dual wield and I made it into a single one, and that's the legit farmed one it gives you. So I got the legit farmed one without farming it, and it gives you the badge and everything. So there's no difference between my account and someone that actually farmed it.
You could have made the most clickbaity title video ever for that video, like how to farm NSOD without farm. Wait, what was your video called?
I think I call it like I got NSOD. I don't know what I called it, but it was slightly
Wait, let me see. Let
clickbaity.
me
It
see.
some
I have no. It was
chance.
pretty good. No, you're right. I have the real end sword and never farmed it. Dude, we need to get
Yeah,
Lena on this shit, bro. She needs to like take out your
they
account. You
fixed
did
that.
not deserve that.
I'd actually be okay if they took the
No,
badge.
I'm
I think
joking. I'm
it's
joking. I'm
funny.
joking.
I
They
have that
definitely should not
badge.
do that. Wait, you have the badge too?
Yeah, I got the badge just because it's funny that I
You
have
know
it. I
what? Good
usually
on
don't
you,
even
man.
go up. I
That is
usually don't even
genuinely
go after the
insane.
badges. Yeah, I just think that's a funny thing that I have on my account. That's like a very like circumstantial, right place, right time thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway, what do we think about the farms? I think that was the actual
yeah,
question.
yeah. What do you think? I was gonna say, like, a lot of the time when you look at online discourse on this and just people talking about it, they're like, oh, it's so annoying and button mash. You just sit at a screen for like 10 hours. And this was mainly what people would say about like VHL or Legion Revenant, which was completely true. I mean, if you've looked at the Legion Revenant quest farming, you have to farm like 500 of 20 different mobs. You have to farm like 1,000 dragon heads. It's just super
You,
button mashy.
you remember
And
Legion Rev when it first came out?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Tell me.
It it was layers of RNG on top of layers, even more than it is right now. It's hard to explain it. You have to go look at like a video or something from when it first came out, but it was insane the amount of time it would take to get it compared to what it is now. And I think some people did go through that, like a very small amount, but they probably saw that the rate in which people were wanting to farm it was very low, so they went and changed it a lot to make it's a lot easier now than like it's like
Oh
probably
yeah, that's
it's
like
probably like 50
VHL
times
as
easier
well.
now than it used to be.
I saw at VHL they used to give you like a percent chance of dropping a Rowan Genium after you completed the
Yeah.
quest, and now it's like 100% of the time you get a Rowan for farming.
Yeah, imagine the same turn-ins, but it's a percent chance that you get it. That like,
Yeah, that's
wow.
crazy. That is absolutely wild.
That's absolutely insane. I don't know why they thought that was okay at all. It's just the people designing the people do the AQ Worlds quest for farming. A lot of times they they'll never have to do the farm, so they don't care, and they'll just make it whatever number, whatever chance. Like they're a little bit
Literally,
better about it these
literally.
days, but wow, they were really unhinged for a while.
And I think another mistake they made was just looking at, oh, look, we have about 5,000 players who have farmed this already within, like, let's say 2 weeks. And then they were just like, well, that was pretty easy. Let's go make it 10 times harder next time, without realizing a lot of these people were just botters. And it doesn't really represent the average AQW player. It's not as easy as perhaps it seems if they just look at the stats of how many people have it and how many people don't. So I was going to say that,
Yeah.
and like nowadays they've obviously taken some of that into account and realized they can't just make more replicas of the VHL farm or Legion Revenant. It's just way too boring. And two ways they've responded. One is like ultra bosses, obviously, and the other is like linking it more to the storyline, like with the recent class, Sovereign of Storms. Wait, no, you're probably fine doing that. I swear you play like the storylines all the time on stream.
Oh yeah, the fact you had to do like 30 weekly events
Yeah,
just to get
literally.
the class is so stupid. They couldn't have done like a chapter, a cutoff point, or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
guess.
speaking of like similar farms, I remember doing NSO or I did Blinding Light of Destiny recently and the Sepulture armor like back to back. And I was so sad that they were the exact same mirror of a farm. Like they literally copy and pasted the quests for those two different like pretty long farms. It was so bad. I don't know when those came out, but man, that was a dark. That must have been a dark time for farming.
There's still like a few, well, not a few, there's actually a bunch of like endgame items I still haven't farmed. And part of it is just, I don't even know how long it takes until like I do it. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Like you look at the quest requirements, and sometimes it seems way bigger or way smaller than what it actually is. Like you might think, oh, that looks like a pretty easy quest. Then you find out it has like 5,000
Yeah.
requirements to even accept it. And it's like, oh, okay, buddy, I'm not farming or sended armor for this.
Yeah, and sometimes the quest designers are really dumb and they'll make it so it says like a million items
Uh huh.
of this thing, but then it drops like 100 and then it drops like 1,000 per or something. Like every kill's like 500 or something, and the million really isn't that many.
Yeah.
But they'll make it look
Yeah,
like it's a
definitely.
lot for some reason. So you're reading the wiki and you're like, wow, that's gonna be a lot of farming, and then you get to it and you're like, oh wait, it's actually took like 20 minutes. It's really dumb. I don't know why they do that sometimes.
Yeah, I guess Yeah, I have no idea why either. It's just hella confusing. Like if you're looking at a farm and you don't know how long it takes, well, it's not on you. Like if you haven't farmed it yet, you genuinely won't know how long it takes. Some of the most like longest, grindiest items to get are like super surprising. Like you wouldn't expect it, but like just because looking at the quest, it doesn't look that hard, or vice versa, and it ends up being the complete opposite of what you'd expect.
Yeah. I always mention how long it took me to farm something when I make a video about it, just because it's like information I'd like to know. So I always keep track of that while I'm farming it. Like, oh yeah, this took me about 30 hours. All right, we move on to the next one.
What is the longest you've gone without playing AQW, like at all, not even just logging in?
It was probably a period between. I actually had to think about this for a little bit. It was probably a period between like 20. It was probably like 2 or 3 years, to be honest, which I guess is a lot, but not really when you consider it's 15 years old. It's probably like 2 or 3 years in between like 2010 and like 13, 14. Actually, no. It might have only been like 2 years. I don't know. Ever since I started playing AQ Worlds, like it's always something I would go back to every once in a while. Like,
Oh, that's like a
probably
lot
yearly.
longer than I expected you to say. For me, I think it depends if you count this or not, but my current account is not my first ever account. My first ever account was like 2012, and then like I played it for a few months, somehow forgot my password, and was like, damn, I guess I won't play for like a year now. And then I finally came back, made a new account, and was like, I really want to play this, even, and so I guess you could say 1 year is the longest I've gone without playing it. But on this current account, I'd say maybe it's like 6 months longest I've gone, and that was around
Oh, okay.
maybe 2017.
Yeah. I actually have an account from I think it's '09 or '10 that I still have the username and password for that I'm just not gonna ever use.
Fair
And I have
enough.
older accounts than that I don't even remember the names of that I can't get into. Yeah, every time I came back to the game, I make a new account. So I think I have like 4 or 5 different accounts
I
until
mean,
like this one, of course.
the only thing about coming back after ages is like sometimes you've got no idea what's happened, and you'll be like really confused. Like for example, when I took like 6 month break in like 2017, I had the Scarlet Sorceress, and it was like my best class at the time. When I came back, I didn't realize why it was like 10 times worse than usual, and I didn't realize that it was called the Blood Sorceress now and no longer called Scarlet Sorceress. So like obviously you know what I'm talking about now. What they did was
Yeah.
they literally downgraded everyone's Scarlet Sorceress class into Blood Sorceress, which is like an F tier class in comparison, and then you had to
Yeah.
farm Scarlet all over again.
Yeah, it's so weird. They didn't let people keep it and then just change it for new people. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, for like a year straight, I saw loads of returning players not realizing the same thing. Like I'd see them farming, like they'd be like level 90 or whatever, they'd be like level 100, and they'd be using Blood Sorceress on like what are those monsters called in the Ice Storm Arena? On those monsters.
Oh yeah, the living ice.
Yeah, the Living Ice.
Why do I know that? What?
I swear you remember, like you only farm in the Nothing area, or do you go there too?
Nothing? Wait,
Isn't
isn't that
isn't
technically better? I just never remember about it. I never remember that area even exists, to be honest. Is it
Yeah,
better,
I'm
technically?
not sure. I think maybe it used to be better, but now it definitely isn't because there's about 15 mobs in the Ice Storm Arena, so like it's just so
Yeah.
much better than it used to be.
Yeah, they just designed it to be the XP farming spot.
Exactly. It's like OP now.
All right, I want to end it there for your part, and next part will be on my channel.
Yeah, so part 2 will be on Corey's channel. Check it out if you haven't already.
All right, bye bye.
See ya.